Good evening, children. I hope everyone are doing fine. Let us continue with the chapter Heredity and Evolution. Today, we will be dealing with the new topic, that is evolution and classification. Okay, so before going to this topic, children, just recall about classification of living organism, which you have already studied in your 9th standard. Okay, so why I am trying to recall this topic for you guys, because classification, so what is a basic thing to classify the living organism, and these classification and classification of living organism is mainly on the characteristics of organisms, right? So why I'm taking this topic, because this is based on the principles which can work out on the evolutionary relationships of the species that we will be often seeing around us. Okay, so it is a sort of going backwards in time. So we can do this by identifying hierarchies of characteristics between the species. Okay, so in order to understand this process, we need to think back to our discussion on the classification of organism that you have studied in 9th standard. Okay, so similarities among organisms will allow us to group them and then study the groups. For this, which characteristics decide more fundamental differences among organisms and which ones decide less basic differences. Okay, so first of all, what is the meaning of characteristics? Okay, so this term is a basic thing to understand evolution and classification. So what is the meaning of characteristics? So characteristics are details of appearance. So appearance of an organism. Okay, appearance or behavior. Okay, appearance or behavior, in other words, a particular form of a particular function. That we have 4 limbs, right? 4 limbs is thus a characteristic. So we call 4 limbs as a characteristics. So the plant can do photosynthesis. What plant undergo the process? Photosynthesis. So this photosynthesis can also be called as a characteristics, right? So some basic characteristics will be shared by most of the organism. So the cell is a basic unit of life, we know that, right? So in all organisms, cell is a basic unit. So the characteristics in the next level of classification would be shared by most, but not all organism, isn't it? So here a basic characteristics of cell design that is differs among different organism is whether the cell as a nucleus. So in prokaryotes and eukaryotes, we know the difference, right? So in prokaryotes, it is said to be nucleoid because it doesn't have a nuclear membrane, where in case of higher organism, there is a nuclear membrane. So but it has a nucleus. So the function is the same, but the structure might be different. So these are the basic different characteristics that we see, isn't it? Like bacterial cells do not have a nucleus. So while the cells of most of the other organisms do have. So among organisms with nucleated cell, which ones are unicellular and which ones are multicellular can be categorized, isn't it? So the property marks a very basic difference in a body design because of specialization of a cell type and also tissues. So among multicellular organism, whether they can undertake photosynthesis or they can't take, like autotrophs and heterotrophs. Among the multicellular organism that cannot do photosynthesis, whether the skeleton is inside the body or around the body will mark another fundamental design difference, right? So these are all the characteristics. These are all the hierarchies that can be used in classification of organisms. Okay, thus more characteristics 2 species will have in common. The more closely they are related, and the more closely they are related, the more recently they will have had a common ancestors. So if they have common characters, that means they are evolved from a common ancestors. Okay, so common ancestors. Okay, an example will help like this. So a brother and a sister are closely related. A siblings are closely related. Okay, they have a common ancestors in the first generation before them. So namely their parents. A girl and her first cousin are also related, but less than the girl and a brother. This is because cousins have common ancestors. Their grandparents in the second generation before them, right? So not in the first one. So we can now appreciate that classification of species is in fact a reflection of their evolutionary relationship. So why I'm telling all these examples, because so every living organisms, if you take one or two, they have a common characteristics. Like just now we took an example of a siblings, so they have a common character, but common character and they are bit related. Why? Because they are from a common ancestors, right? That is their grandparents. So siblings as well as cousins, so if you can relate, cousins will be same because the grandparents are same, they are evolved, they are obtained from a common ancestors. So we can thus build up a small group of species with recent common ancestors. Then supergroups of these groups will more distant common ancestors. Like this the classification arises, and in the process of evolutionary time also this species can be obtained newly. Okay, so in that case, so at some point in the history of earth, non-living material must have given rise to life. So there are many theories about how this might have happened. It would be interesting to come up with theories of our own. So how life origin, so it is a very vast topic to be discussed, so we shall discuss that if we get a free time. Okay, so there is an assumption that there is a theory that non-living material must have given rise to life. Okay, there are some sort of theories like that.